Are we going to have sex or what? This is the question that so many of us midlife women are asking. Desire has been lost in a haze of hormones, deadlines, sleep deprivation, and relationship meltdowns. Today, my guest and I are going to unpack what it will take to get you back to feeling pleasure again. And, girlfriend, it's not what you think. Welcome to the Midlife Reset Podcast. This is episode number 60. I'm your host, Cheryl Gordon. I guide midlife women to greater strength, happiness, and energy without dieting, harsh exercise, or rigid rules. Through my signature course, the She Mindfulness Program, and many years of yoga classes, I've helped thousands of women come home to their bodies again. My guest today is Dr. Julie Merriman. She's a clinical therapist, author, and podcast host. She has spent 25 years counseling high achieving women over the age of 50 on burnout, compassion fatigue, and nervous system depletion, including how this stress shows up as disconnection and shutdown and loss of intimacy. By the end of this episode, you'll understand that lacking desire is not a character flaw. You are not broken. This state of affairs is an adaptive nervous system response to decades of responsibility and care and chronic demand. So let us help you start unwinding this mess right now. Well, everyone, I'm really excited. Here she is, Dr. Julie Merriman. So nice for you to come today.
It is so great to be here. Thank you so much.
And Julie, I was so excited to have this conversation because I came across your website and you have a new book coming out and you say, so are we going to have sex or what? And this is a question that's big on my mind. I'm actually going to turn 63 at the end of this week.
Yes, yeah,
And I have always loved intimacy with my partner, and it was a big part of who I am and who I was. And through my menopausal journey, it's been really challenging, as I'm sure you hear
um,
this all the time from your clients, really
sure.
challenging to keep up the libido, to keep my parts functioning. So
Right.
help, tell us what to do.
Well, I love happy early birthday. I'm 63 as well. It's a great it's a great time of life. Um, and the book is actually out. People can get it on Amazon now, but it's all about are we going to have sex or what? It's about the midlife. It's a midlife guide to reigniting desire and living, reclaiming yourself and living fully alive because we lose ourselves along the way. And that really impacts our libido. Yes, hormones are an issue because at one time, estrogen and all the things were just flooding through our bodies, helping us uh, just be, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And it really, estrogen plays a big role, not only for reproduction, but also for brain function. I think we forget that. And as we know, or maybe we don't, but I don't care if you're 25 or if you're 65, only about 10% of women experience spontaneous desire. You, you just wake up
Really,
horny
only
like
10%, even
10,
even as a young woman.
yes,
Really?
only 10 to 15%. And I
Right.
mean, various studies, you'll find a little different data, but the rest of us, and that's a big percentage, 85 to 90% of us depend on spontaneous desire. Excuse me, responsive desire, where we're responding to our partner or responding to a context. And as we age, it's still there, but it might take a little longer to get her online. But that's also, and I talk about this a lot in the book, our nervous system plays a huge role in this. Yes, hormones are very important. In fact, I just gave my book to my hormone doctor the other day, and he was like, you're right, Jules. This is the full picture isn't just hormones. You have to look at the
Right.
person holistically. So you have to think about us gals over 50. A lot of us, and I know we're the same age, so as we came up, we really, this superwoman, do you remember? You can have all the jobs and you can raise all the kids and you take care of the
Yeah.
house, and how dare you say you're tired? That
Yeah.
wasn't,
Oh,
we
I
were,
know. You have to
Yeah.
stay thin and sexy and keep a perfect house and remember everyone's birthday and
Yes.
get all the kids to the doctor's appointments and
Right.
function at work and be ambitious at work and
Right.
yes, yes,
Yeah. We were told if you weren't doing that, then sister, something was wrong.
right.
So by the time we arrive, which was a myth, let me just say, anyone listening, that's a myth. We cannot do that. But we arrive in midlife fried. Our nervous system is fried. We have
Hmm.
put ourselves in a pressure cooker for 20, 30 years. So there's an allostatic load that happens where it's not just one day of stress cycle, it's 20 to 30 years of stress cycle. And our nervous system is like, what in the hell is going on? And and the very first thing that's going to go when our nervous system is dysregulated, and think about it, ladies, when we're really dysregulated, oh my God, did I miss that meeting? Oh, I didn't know you had a program tomorrow. Here, let's make you a new dress. I mean, whatever it might be. We're holding everyone's emotional load. We're over functioning. Our nervous system is fried. We have ventral state, which is that we're regulated and we're very social. That's where sex becomes very yummy. We have sympathetic state where we're in fight or flight, which we're at a lot of times. And then we have the vagus state where we're just dissociated from our body. So we have told our nervous system over 20 or 30 years, I am in survival mode. I'm in functional freeze. And the very first thing, and it's very wise, our nervous system's job is to keep us alive. So it tells our frontal cortex, sister, you are in survival mode. So I'm taking pleasure off the table. I'm taking desire off the table because you sure don't need that. We just got to get you through this day. So the allostatic load part of that is, girl, after we've done this for 20 or 30 years, we have not completed a stress cycle. We're living on adrenaline and, and cortisol
And
and
coffee.
coffee. Yeah, let's throw some caffeine in there. And we wonder why when our spouse says, hey, wink, wink, ha, 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 we think one more effing thing, forget it. I mean, some often we respond with irritation because we're not out of that stress cycle. And it's been happening for a long time.
Yeah, it's become quite habitual.
Yeah.
I call it the habit brain in my work, the
Yeah.
habit brain running the show. And you're right, like because when we're going through those busy years, we didn't think too much about it because we didn't have any time to think about it. But we had kids hanging off of us. We had to get to the gym. We had to like do our laundry, and then at night, husband winks at us, and we're like, no way, buddy. Resentment builds up because
Right.
he got to go to hockey or he got to go play golf or he got his guys' night out,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And all
Absolutely.
of that has been building up, like you say, 20 or 30 years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There is a myth. I firmly believe it's a myth that we can't pour from an empty cup because we've done it for years to the point that we've become the empty cup because we
Hmm.
give and we give. And we can talk all about because I do a lot of inner child work with the ladies I work with, but we bring schema forward from our childhood where and somehow it's reinforced through the years that we believe our worth is tied to our performance, to what we do. So the idea of even not doing or even receiving I tell you, I work with some gals that I'll give them an assignment. I just want you to color for 10 minutes this weekend. That's it. Just color. Do something completely unproductive. And she'll come back and say, my God, I'm just going to crawl out of my skin. I can't just not do. I need to do this. I need to do that. I feel guilty. So, yes, we have years of not getting our needs met. And of course, it's going to lead to resentment. I use a lot of chakra psychology in my work as well as somatic psychology, same thing. And in fact, if I have my neuroscientist hat on, I'm talking about the vagus nerve through neuroscience language. If I have my yoga instructor hat on, or I'm talking about it through chakra language, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Our vagus nerve runs right through our chakra system. And for me, that gives my lady, I know it's not concrete, but it's more concrete than watching a bunch of spaghetti on an anatomy chart, which is what the vagus nerve looks like to me. But if I can get her to, okay, that's your throat chakra. What are you feeling there? That gives us both a lot of information. But where I'm going with that, for years, we've swallowed our truth to keep the peace. So that's, I mean, your throat chakra is like, what the hell do you want from me?
Yeah.
Ends up in our heart or our solar plexus chakras, and resentment is bubbling there. But I think of it as sacred resentment because if we'll slow down and listen to it, she has a lot to tell us about the needs we need met so that we can start to regulate this, our nervous system again.
Hmm.
And until we get our body a safe place to live, and that's more root chakra work. But
Hmm.
when we are in this constant state of fight or flight, tiger's going to eat us, oh my God, situation, our body doesn't feel very safe. And pleasure really depends on a safe body to open up to. Yeah, I mean, think about how vulnerable. Um, I mean, sex is wonderful, but it's a very
Yeah.
vulnerable place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And very from a very basic biological point of view, there's no point in procreating if you were in an unsafe environment and lions were going to come and eat you. Can we go
That's
back to
right.
the whole chakra thing? Because I think
Yeah,
that's kind of my jam too. And I
yeah,
think it's so fascinating that the chakras line up with where the vagus nerve has a lot of activity. Now, the vagus nerve, just for our listeners, is a long wandering nerve in the body that is principally the nerve that starts our rest and digest. It is attached to the parasympathetic side of the
right.
autonomic nervous system. But it wanders. There's a lot in the groins, a
Yeah,
lot in the gut, a lot in the cardiac area, a lot in the throat, and a lot in the face, right? In the head.
right,
A lot of
right.
branches of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where the chakras we talk about are.
Right. I mean, it really lines up with our chakra system. Um, and I usually start my ladies with the root chakra because that's where safety
Mhm.
lives,
Okay.
and trying to get that root chakra balanced. And think the root chakra, which that's from our sits bone down to our tippy toes. And
Hmm.
then right above that, we have our sacral chakra, and that's where our sensuality and our creativity and all our emotions live. So those two really need to be balanced and talking to each other. And when we've been in this state of constant functional freeze with a dysregulated nervous system, those two areas are completely depleted. We have got to start by just baby things. The last thing we want to do is blow up our nervous system again. So we start with just little baby things.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for ladies to know also, because I think the self-care industry, which is a cajillion billion, I don't even know if that's a real number, but it's a huge industry that plays on our vulnerabilities here. I think it's very gaslighting to say, oh, just go get a massage. And you're like, hell, I've had 15. I don't feel
Yeah.
any better until we get those that nervous system regulated. We're not going to be available for those other things to really take hold. Then we're shamed. We think we're doing something wrong. We blame ourselves. But also we'll just go meditate. And girl, when you are in a dysregulated state, that frontal cortex is not available for you to settle into a meditation. So there we feel like we messed that up too. It's just
Yeah, it's just not for us. There's something wrong with us. We're not
yes,
programmed right. We
right.
failed at one more thing.
Exactly. Which just regulates us a little bit more because our
Yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
have a big game in here with us.
Yeah. So, what
Uh,
are some of the things, Julie, that you would offer to a client if you're going to work in that root chakra area?
yeah,
Grounding things.
grounding, and that's in that everything. Absolutely
Mhm.
grounding. I want her to start with a walking meditation. And there's first for the audience, and I know you tell them this all the time, there's no wrong way to do a meditation. There's no rules. And we all
How
have these
many
rule
people are on the
books.
planet now? Like, is it 8 billion or
It's
something? There's 8 billion ways to meditate.
absolutely. They're all right. They're all right. Um, but a walking meditation, it starts at, I mean, that's at your root chakra. And, you just want to start feeling your body again. We are floating heads of competence, just floating around here, forgetting we have a body that's attached to us. So I want her re-embodied. So we're going to do a walking meditation, however it works for her. But I do invite her to go outside without a phone, without anything but maybe a bird, birds, the leaves rustling, vitamin D from the sun. Just get outside. Very basic, and just do it for, 5 to 10 minutes. The ladies I work with, and perhaps you as well, they're a lot of them are high achievers. They feel like I have time for one more thing, which keeps us stuck in that cycle. So we try to start with little bitty things like that. Grounding, I, shaking. I mean, I live on a cattle ranch here in Texas, and my horses out in the back, well, they're not the backyard, but out in the pasture behind the house. After I get off Rex, my horse, who is a smartass, it's just a smartass, but I'll take the saddle off and he just shakes, just well, that's part of the nervous system. We need to shake. So I have her start doing full body shakes, especially if something has activated her. Um, that shake helps to complete that nervous system. It tells our body, okay, here we go. Um, hip circles are really important. So many of us gals have so much trauma, maybe generational, maybe from us, shame stuck in our hips, stuck in that sacral area. So just little hip circles. It may be even in front of a mirror, but just and placing your hand on your sacral chakra, just inviting movement and groundedness, which I know sounds really like okay, but little things like that really do make a big difference.
Well, I think people overlook a lot of these tools because they seem rather simplistic. They're
Right.
looking for very complicated solutions because life feels so complicated for them. But
Right.
actually, like you say, baby steps, simple getting back to nature, things that have traditionally always been part of the human experience, but we've sanitized them out because, like you say, we're cerebral now, we're floating heads.
Yeah.
So it's very, very powerful to spend 10 minutes in nature, but how many of us take the time to do that? We're checking our socials, we're busy having coffee, got to catch up on the news, which all feeds the whole being too much in our head and not in our body.
Right. Well, and we have spent years getting out and avoiding our body. I'm also a professor. I run a university department where I train counselors into the field. In the States, it's licensed professional counselor, but we work psych units or
Mhm.
wherever we're called. But as I'm training these graduate students to become counselors, I have to get them embodied so that they can help get their clients embodied because that's why I became a somatic therapist. We can talk all day long. We got to get into our body to really feel what's happening. And we have really trained ourselves not to. So the next thing I'm going to do with my gals is teach them a full body scan, which I'm sure you do on a regular basis. It's basically you're scanning your chakras. There's no right or wrong. You're just approaching it with curiosity and self-compassion and noticing any physical sensation because the interception, whereas our body, when we are aware of what our body is telling us, we have dumbed it down. We have told it for years, shut up. I don't have time for that. I'm exhausted. Shut up. I can't. I'm not hungry. I don't have time. Whatever it might be.
Yeah,
And
not
your
hungry,
body's
not
fine.
thirsty.
Yeah.
Don't need sleep.
You
Yeah,
don't need to pee. You can't get to the bathroom for 30 minutes. So
yeah,
our body, or that doesn't hurt. I don't have time for that to hurt. So our body has said, okay, sister, you don't want me talking to you. So we have to invite our body back online to talk to us. It
yeah.
has so much to tell us. And I tell you what's really interesting. I don't, well, we're the same age. You remember when we used to have to defrost refrigerator? No, yeah, defrost refrigerators,
Manual
open.
defrost, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
I,
I'm,
I was taking a metal implement into the freezer and actually poked right through the
yes.
freezer compartment. I had to buy a whole new fridge. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, Mama would open the freezer. We'd take things out. We're going to defrost it. We got to defrost our nervous system. It has
What
to
a great
thaw.
analogy. Yes,
It's got to
yes.
thaw. And as my ladies start to thaw, defrost, pain starts coming back online. Not
Yeah,
because we've ignored it for so long. And then they'll
yeah.
think, Why do I have a headache all the time? Well, because your body's talking to you again.
Yeah.
I had one gal who started with the walking meditation and her feet started burning, felt like they were on fire.
Oh dear.
And I always, go to your medical doctor. We want to rule out anything, that
Hmm.
might be because we've ignored our body for so long. There might be some things that we need to take care of. But her doctor, who I celebrated, he was advanced in his knowledge. He said, girl, I think that's a nervous system, something going on. Nothing
Ah,
else is showing up.
yeah.
So she started learning to kind of hold space for that pain because what's the first thing we want to do? Make it go away, get rid
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Let me sit with it a minute. Let me see what it has to tell me. Let me see what kind of wisdom there might be. And sure, sure enough, she's to the point now where it's minimal. She doesn't even notice it so much anymore. But I thought that was fascinating
Yeah.
as we
Yeah.
start to come back online.
I
And so
think
I
that's
just
such
told,
a wonderful point, Julie, because I notice that in yoga classes all the time, that as people start to thaw, that they'll be like, oh, yoga's not good for me because my shoulder started to act up or my hip or my back. And really, it is the fact that things are just waking up, coming online, the communication channels are opening,
yeah,
and we have so many tools
yeah,
um, in our worlds where we can help students bring that vagus nerve into activity to get the rest and digest, and natural healing can be offered rather than
yeah.
running from it again.
Right. And in that healing, your desire lives in that. Your
There we
pleasure
go.
lives in that. We bring things back online. The pelvic bowl, think about when we're bracing. And I know I had to get my department reaccredited. It was from hell. But so,
Oh,
so I was living in this dysregulated state the last few weeks. I recognized it. I mean, used to I wouldn't have recognized it. And I held some compassion there, but you're braced. You're just, oh, I got to get this done. Well, when you're bracing, your pelvic floor is braced too. You're starving your genitals. They're like,
yeah.
I just need a little blood here. So softening is very important. Um, Purposely softening into ourselves instead of bracing and forcing. You cannot force desire back. She has to be invited back through a very soft and connected place. And I, we also have to be so honest with our bodies. How much obligatory sex have we had through the years? Fine. Yeah. Fine. Just, how many orgasms have we faked just so he or
We could
she
get to
would,
sleep.
yeah. Yeah,
Are we done
absolutely.
yet?
Yeah, just well, I'll just throw. Yes. So our body, we've lied to our body for so many years.
Hmm.
So really softening in, really trying to help ourselves remap pleasure just for us first. I mean, I always have her start with a pleasure map with herself. Um, and I live outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so there's some great upscale sex stores in Fort Worth that have, in-resident sex therapists, and just a really neat experience. So I have her go and get a brand new fancy vibrator. Um, but we can't use it on our genitals for about a month. The first thing we're going to do and really, if you think about it, it's good for your vagus nerve too, is for her to run that vibrator in various places to see where pleasure does live because we've absolutely lost track. And there's so many, and for the great Ellis, Albert Ellis was a theorist in the therapy world, and he used to say masturbatories, you should, you must, you do. BS. We need to find where pleasure actually lives for us, and that's a great way to start.
Without
We
any pressure to perform.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. No pressure. Orgasm off the table. I mean, if it happens, great, but it's not, we're just without pressure bringing some nerve endings back online.
Hmm.
And um as we age, things feel different, and that's okay. I mean, I had breast cancer, I don't know, a few years ago,
Mm.
had a double mastectomy, a reconstruction in my, and I did get to keep my nipples. I had a really good surgeon, which which was Wonderful. But that used to be a highly pleasurable place for me that's very different now. But there's
Yeah.
other areas that are very pleasurable. But she has to start mapping that for herself without any rules, without another partner, just for her. And slowly, as you have that map built out, then you can invite your partner in. But again, sex is off the table, intercourse is off the table for a good month just to get, let's just be together. Let's connect because desires is about connection, intimacy is about connection.
Brilliant. There's so much more that we should be talking about, Julie, but I don't want to keep you too long. So people can find the book now on Amazon, and it is called Are We Going to Have Sex Now or What?
Are we gonna have sex or what? I said that to my husband 35 years ago on our first date. That so we'd
And
known each other a long time, but
but you're obviously making a transition.
yes,
So,
yeah.
and also you have a website where you people can reach out to you and you run.
Yes. I also have a somatic signature quiz I would encourage everyone to start with. It's free. It's on my website,
Right.
www.juliemerriman.phd/quiz, but it gives you a good idea of what's going on with my body and where do I need to start.
Okay, so we'll put the link to the show notes to get the book as well as sign up for the quiz. And I would really encourage all of our sisters to reclaim pleasure again. Don't let the stress of decades of taking care of everybody else deprive you of something that is so fundamental to the human experience, pleasure and intimacy.
Absolutely. Oh, that's yes, yes, yes. Homecoming. Have a homecoming.
Thank you so much, Julie. Namaste.
Oh, namaste. Thank you.
So glad that you're listening to this podcast. But are you ready for a bit of a deeper dive? Well, I'd love to point out the She Mindfulness program. And if you want to learn more, there's a free webinar that I have available on my website at CherylGordonYT.com. You can listen to the talk, decide if this program is for you. It's really unique. I've never seen anything quite like it, and I know it works. So check out the website. Talk soon.